Hello, this is Barbara from around the WNBA. Tonight we're discussing Seattle versus Dallas. Let's get into it. The first quarter, Dallas was at 20 and Seattle was 19, so they're very close to first quarter. Um, you know, no big mystery to that. Second quarter, 18 to 11, and that was Dallas. So Seattle got kind of caught behind, and they, really weren't doing what they usually would do with the ball. Even Diggins couldn't really hit, a bucket. So that second quarter was definitely all about Dallas. And then the third quarter, it was Seattle 24 and Dallas 17. So what happened there was, you know, probably the coach, went back and said, y'all got to get together. Because if you don't get together, you ain't going to win the game. Something happened where they got a fire put under them to produce. So that gave them 24 and 17. So for Seattle, they took that quarter. The fourth quarter was 22-29 Seattle. So again, whatever was said in that locker room put a fire under them, and it worked. It definitely worked. And the score ended up being 83 Seattle, 77 Dallas. So, and for the Seattle, they have 4 wins and 4 losses. And for Dallas is 1 win and 7 losses. So, that's where they are. Now, let's go through the scorers, what the scorers did. Seattle, Storm, Williams, 18 points and 4 assists and 3 rebounds. So that's pretty good. Nika had 14 points, 9 rebounds, and 1 assist. Wheeler had 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. Let's talk about Wheeler for a second. Since she's been on this team, she has come to be more alive than when she was on the Indiana Fever. She is being more aggressive. She is taking shots that are landing. Okay? She's able to help, at the perimeters. She's able to help, everywhere she can, she's there to help. So she's just, blossomed since she's been on this team. I'm happy for her, definitely. McGregor had 9 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. Diggins had 9 points, 1 rebound, and 5 assists. Cook had 7 points, 1 assist. And Yuru had 6 points, 1 rebound. Yuru is coming into herself. I can remember last season she seemed a little bit sort of timid. And this season she's off and running. She got 2 3-pointers, and it's something that you wouldn't expect of her, but now I think it's becoming her norm. We'll see. And Malonga, the rookie, 6 points, 3 rebounds. I tell you, she's 19, just entered the WNBA, and she has so much potential. So much potential. Her wingspan is off the charts. She's tall. She's like unbelievably tall, to the point where she can just like reach up and put the ball in the basket. She is done wonderfully, and she's still learning. But she is achieving points, which is good to see. And Clark had 3 points and 2 rebounds and 1 assist. And for Dallas, Carrington, had 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Let me talk about Carrington. She is fabulous at being in the paint, going to the paint. She's fabulous about bringing down the ball down court. She's good at doing all of these things, and she's improved even from last season. Already improved. You can see she got 22 points. That's pretty impressive. She also got a flagrant foul during the game where a player was going up. I think it was Diggins going up, and she flew up high, and her hands went back and then went over in a very hard hit to Diggins. And so they reviewed the play, the refs reviewed the play, and it became to be a flagrant 1 on her. She didn't take it too bad in terms of she didn't act out or, she didn't do anything weird. But, that happened. She's got to learn how to, if she's going to go up like that to try to block a shot, she's got to keep her arms straight up, because if your arms are going to be flailing or hitting the players, that's going to be a foul. And if it looks like it's going to be done on purpose, it's going to be a flagrant foul in terms of if it's going to injure the player. If it's going to somehow injure the player, not about whether you intended it or not, but if it's going to injure the player, they're going to give you a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2, depends on how severe it was. But she has improved so much. And maybe it's because she's in the right place. A lot of these players that have been moved around during the time of making trades and they were free agencies, and so they went to different teams, and a lot of that happened for this season. So I think that for a lot of players it's been beneficial, and Carrington is one of them where she's flourishing. Hines Allen had 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists. Seacrest had 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 1 assist. Arike had 8 points and 3 rebounds and 3 assists. She wasn't as active in terms of accomplishing or making the buckets that she wanted to make. And sometimes I think when she doesn't do that, she gets really frustrated with herself. It's somewhat noticeable on the court when she's not hitting the way that she wants to hit the bucket. So hopefully she'll work on that and, be more light about it rather than to internalize it, if that's what she's doing. Smith had 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. And she's coming, leaps and bounds too. Since leaving Indiana, Melissa has been doing well with the Dallas team. And then, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Gil Saloder had 6 points and 3 rebounds and 2 assists. He's one of the new rookies. Charles had 4 points and 4 rebounds and 1 assist. McCowan had 2 points, 5 rebounds. James, another one of the rookies, had 2 points and 2 assists. So that's not too bad. Not too bad. The key thing about this is that we have Paige Beckers, who's out because she's under a concussion protocol, which means you got to miss 2 games and then get reevaluated to see if you're able to come back. Also, I think her name is Harris. She's also their other point guard, who's also out. So you have that going on for Dallas, where, when your point guards are not on the floor, people get a little just off a little bit. Maybe not everybody, but some get off a little bit. They're not themselves because they're either filling in different positions that they weren't used to having. And so it's all adjustments. But we'll see what will happen around Paige and what will happen around Harris in terms of when they're coming back. But they are missed on the team for sure. Watching the game, it was pretty even, and we had people like Gabby Williams, who is an exceptional player, and she is not afraid to go into the paint. She plays aggressively. She's looking for what she can see, and being an all around good basketball player, and you can tell that she's an asset to have on the Seattle team. So the game was good. Nothing really exciting happened. Um, both teams, did their best, and I think that Seattle, them coming up, from a slump the first couple of quarters to the third and the fourth being their quarter, it gave them the win. And that's the thing about, in basketball is that the third and the fourth quarter are important quarters. Every quarter is important, but you can't slack in the third and fourth quarter. You can't be tired in the third and fourth quarter. And if you do, you got to muster up some sort of energy. And a lot of that is the onus on that is the coaches as well. They have to know how to rotate their members of their team and when to do that and who to put in and how to give some rookies some time and all that kind of stuff. So, but it was a good game and one that was, how can I put it? Expected. I put it that way. Expected, given the players who were out and also given the fact that Dallas has only won one game so far, and that the Storm they're now 4-4. So, I guess that's it. If this has been helpful to you, I ask you to subscribe and to tap the bell so that you'll be aware of when new content comes. Give me a thumbs up. I'll appreciate that. And I'll see you next time. This is Barbara from around the WNBA.